All right, I think I'm live. Good morning to people like Frank and Lee Clarkson out there who I just had a small chat with, and to anybody who will see this later. I've sat back for a few months like I always do, and I still pay attention to everything. Anything in the news and sports. I mean, I know it's all rigged, and so even though I'm not participating with Gematria Effect News and doing usual things that I do, I just look at it as a break. And, after a few months, what's up, Lee? After a few months of doing that, I'm just sitting here collecting my thoughts, and I kind of understand where the problem is with me and Zach. And this video is for Zach. And man, I have so many thoughts, but I just want to try to get all my points out there and remember them all. You sit here for all this time and have stuff to say, but then when the video is on, I can't ever remember everything. But I think I'll do all right. I'm gonna readdress the Hebrew Israelites in New York, but not right now. That's one thing that made Zach upset, and we'll get back to that. After I did my birthday video, December 20th, I came on his show. I was trying to just get past the Hebrew Israelites thing and make a video with Zach and get past it. And everybody knows I show the same 12 or 13 rituals, and to me they're the easiest ones, and they're also major events at the same time. But they're the easy ones to show people, and I can't get 1,000 of us to do the same thing and all show those to people, new people. I want to say the next day, Zach made a comment when he got mad at me over what happened on Arthur's channel. Zach made the comment that, it was kind of pointless to do that video with Rich because we've covered this stuff a million times. That's what he said. That's what you said, Zach. So I'd like you to think about a different perspective of that. I get your perspective that we've covered it a million times. That's a fact. And all the people who listen to your channel every day already know the stuff. So here's a couple questions. Well, one question and one statement. The first question is, we all know, well, sorry, it's very early in the morning. I just burned one. I'm just losing my train of thought, but it's okay. First of all, I'll just make the statement because I forget what the question is. There's a billion people out there that don't know the truth of 9/11, okay? That don't know the truth of Sandy Spoons, that don't know sports are rigged, okay? So the reason I want to make that video is not to cover something we've covered a million times just for no reason. I wanted to show that video to new people, which I do this kind of stuff every day. I realize that you don't know everything that I do, but I do a lot of communicating with people in the public. Every day I try to teach 2 or 3 people minimum. And that's with not pounding pavement, that's just on my way to work, If I'm pounding pavement, obviously my goal would be to get the whole city's attention that day, That's why I go back to the same 9/11 and the same Super Bowl riddles that I have memorized, the same California fires. Because what I'm doing is showing that new person the 118 riddle with the California fire, right? And then I show them the 9/11 one. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because now they'll be interested in Zach Hubbard's videos every day. Maybe they'll hit the subscribe button. Maybe they'll, learn more, So I use these simple freaking riddles, rituals, whatever you want to call them. to gain new people's attention. So for you to sit there and say, oh, the video is stupid because fuck, we've covered it a million times, you're not thinking about what I'm trying to do. And we always will talk about 9/11 and the California fires and Super Bowl 51. I want to put those on a video, but I also want to put all of them that we never end up doing because the video goes 45 minutes and we just stop after like the fourth one, you know? So I have a vision for what I want to do, and I've never gotten to do it. Well, I guess when I went to on the public access television, I got to do it. But again, I got slowed down after half a coronavirus and 9/11. So when I went on television, that's all they got, you know. I wanted to go on there for 2 hours, you know. So I just think it was wrong of you to say that it was pointless to make the video because we covered it a million times. And there was something else that I can't remember, and that's okay. Maybe I'll come back to that. What else, Zach? Oh, on Arthur's show. Somebody told me, okay, Arthur shouted you out on his show. Now, I don't listen to Arthur. Nothing, it's not against him. It's because I only have learned from you, and I stick with you, and I promote your work. So I don't have time to watch other people's decodes. I don't care about other people's decodes. What I care about is major events. You know, here's something we can address. You also made the comment, yeah, and Rich hates organic gematria. Okay. Okay, I don't hate it. I just don't need to consume my time with it. I do call it the law of probability, and most people in the gematria community would rather just call it organic gematria. That makes new people think that it could be a coincidence or it's the law of probability and blah, blah, blah. And there's a difference. There's a difference. Organic gematria is like, actual synchronicities with the universe and the law of probability, like, coincidences. And it is amazing, if you found $5 at 5 o'clock on the 5th, and there were 5 people there. I mean, that would be amazing coincidence. And you could even show somebody and it'd be cool. But that's not the stuff we're showing. Now, maybe the evil people that we expose, because of organic gematria, that's why they do deceptive gematria. That's fine. I, not you. That's fine if you want to talk about organic gematria. But if I make a comment, don't blame me, please. You know what I mean? Because really, the organic gematria means nothing when we're showing deceptive gematria. And I understand some people have stories with their family and this number keeps popping up and that's great. But at the same time, we're not showing that stuff. We're showing ritualistic people using numbers, dates on the calendar, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I like to stick with. I don't want to confuse people, and I don't want people to think I'm some numerologist because I'm not. They always say, "Oh, Rich, that numbers guy," I'm like, I'm not the numbers guy. I'm exposing the numbers guy. You know. If we ever defeat this tyranny, we're not going to sit around and do gematria, right? I mean, think about it. So it's nothing against you. Everybody has their own area of expertise, and I get it. People explain things to people in different ways, but and that's fine, People can explain things the way they want, but in my opinion, if we had thousands of people posted across the nation explaining the same specific things. Hey, come see Zachary K. Hubbard, learn the truth of 9/11, learn the truth of the scripted Super Bowls, learn the truth of Sandy Spoons, and fake mass shootings. I mean, and then when you have those riddles that you can tell them and blow their mind in 2 minutes, now they're interested. Now they join your team. So, but Zach, back to Arthur's channel. Right when I went on there, and got to the part where he shouted me out. I appreciated it. That was fine. You were in the live comments, and I don't know what the conversation was about, but you said Rich was trying to fight the Hebrew Israelites. That pissed me off, man, because I had just went on your show, a day or two before, trying to get past the Hebrew Israelites thing. And then it's almost like, in my mind, with you saying that, that means you don't believe anything or even maybe even remember what I said, my explanation, my side of the story about the Hebrew Israelite situation and how you could have dealt with it better. If you're my friend, if you're fighting next to me, if we're in New York City and you don't like something I do or say, come up to me and say, "Hey, Rich, could you have approached that different?" Or blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get offended with something like that. My friend just came up and asked if that was a good decision or not, or why did you do that, And I'm actually going to know, I'm a smart guy, I'm going to know that what you're doing, and I'm going to have a civil conversation with you, and I'm going to give my opinion and you give your opinion. And maybe one of these times, if you tried that, you wouldn't just go with your perspective against me like you always do, because there's always, a few perspectives, like your perspective could be logical, but maybe that's not what it is. Just like the time when we were in the bar in New York, you said, "Oh, Rich shouldn't drink because he's got kidney failure." And it was after I wanted to have a beer. It was my first beer in like 4 years. And I don't even drink, dude. You know what I mean? Like, even growing up as a teenager, I was the kind of guy that had like a couple beers at the party and that's it. Or maybe one drink because I don't like alcohol. But I know there's times that you can celebrate and relax and have a beer. And I wanted to have a beer with you in New York in the bar. And that's all it was, man. And for you to say that I shouldn't drink because I have kidney failure, do you realize my kidneys are removed? And do you realize that a kidney doctor told me that it's not the what you drink? I mean, it could be water, it could be tea, it could be even beer. It's the amount of fluid I intake, not what I intake. So that beer was, if it's bad for us, was just as bad for you as it was for me. So, I mean, that was another inaccurate statement. And you wait to say it on your show. And, I get it. I'm not mad if you mention my name, even if it's something you disagree with, but at least talk to me civil. That's all I ask, because you can say what you think, what's on your mind, what you disagree with, and then I can give my input, and then you come to a resolution. But this never happens. When you misunderstood me the first couple times, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and it was all about the people talking shit about me and why I was mad in the first place. I'm working hard every day and nobody's doing nothing. This was before we started pounding pavement every 4 or 5 months in a different city. And so I helped build that. Whether you accept that or not, I mean, that's how it is. I helped build pounding pavement, and I'm treated like shit every time I open my mouth that someone don't agree with how I feel or think. You think I'm supposed to, I have a chip on my shoulder? Am I supposed to stand there with my hands in my pockets? I'm not, I wanted us to go into the mayor's office. How do you think that would have turned out? I wanted to go to the fire department. Oh, we did good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downing what we did, and you were amazing on that microphone. There's no doubt about that. And I couldn't even hold a candle to you. I wanted to talk to the people on the microphone, and I did, but I just did my simple 9/11 riddle. I mean, to me, I'm not as smart as you when it comes to the knowledge. I mean, you wrote books, man. I have a lot of information stored in my brain that I present to people, but that's not even 10% of what you have stored in your brain. You have books, you've inputted this stuff into computers, you've talked about it on a show for 10 years in a row. So you have the stuff way more memorized and you're way more smarter than me. But that doesn't mean what I'm doing isn't valuable. When I tell someone the flight A11 and the flight 77 riddle, and it takes 40 seconds, I blow their mind every time. So I can't get on the mic and say all the stuff you said, and that's okay by me. You know, we got 400 shares on the one across from the bookstore. I was so proud of that, man. I was even after the Hebrew Israelites situation. You had said nothing to me about being mad, bro, and I was just so proud of that video. And then you took your perspective and rode with it and against me instead of just communicating with me, you know. There's a couple more things. Oh, about when you called me a liar, you said I went on because after I seen you in the live comments, you said, "Oh, Rich was trying to fight with the Hebrews." So I called in Arthur's show and I was explaining to him, and I wanted you to hear it, how you cut a video on me. And, you know, after you got back from New York, you decided to bash me on your show once again. And, you know, that shows something, Zach. You could probably admit this. You should just talk to me instead of going on a show in front of 20,000 people and burying me. Because maybe you're wrong about the situation. Maybe there's another perspective. So, but you don't give a chance for that to happen, you know, and that maybe I'm not blaming you, but I just hope maybe you can acknowledge that. Um, when I said you cut a video on me, I didn't mean that you got back from New York and you titled the video "Fuck Richard Quinn" and the video was like about me. No, when I said you cut a video on me, I simply meant on your video you brought this up with the Hebrew Israelites. Like I was just sitting there, you know, having a great day and listening to your video, and all of a sudden, yeah, and you know, pretty much screw Richard Quinn. He's not a good team player. Blah 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 blah. Trying to fight the Hebrew Israelites. I mean, that's not how it went down, and that's not what I'm thinking. And then all of a sudden, I lose my position. I lose the respect of half your audience, who I could maybe get into a T-shirt and teach my system of what I do to teach new people. All that goes down the toilet. I lose my confidence. And it's all because, I don't know, man. You have this certain thought about me, and I know it ain't like that. I know who I am. I'm a loyal motherfucker, bro. Ask the people around me. I mean, I help people out all the time. I'm a hard worker. I'm honest. But you don't see that with me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care. I don't mind if it got fixed one day and we continue to travel the nation. And one day you would see when I'm able to say, if I'm in New York, I actually should be talking to, I don't know, a few hundred people a day that stop and just take 2 minutes and I say the same riddle to them, you know, for like 9/11. And then some people will listen more and I can, you know, get out a few Super Bowl riddles and, you know, California fires. And then that's when I'm now say that those 300 people are now subscribed to your channel. They get it. You know, they're watching your daily videos. They're supporting us. They're showing up in New York with us. Now they're going to the police station with us and exposing them. Now they're going to, you know, the mayor's office with us. We're growing an audience, you know, and that's what I try to do. And I just get shot down every time. So when you called me a liar and started cussing me out and saying I'll never get a kidney and saying I'm a loser, and more importantly, you said on Arthur's channel in the comments or on a video, one of the two, you said Rich abandoned his son. That made me very, very, very upset and actually just caused me to sit here for 3 months in silence. In no way have I ever abandoned my son. I did the complete opposite, Zach. I had $40 to my name and dropped myself off on a one-way ticket. No family that gave a shit. here, no way to get back here. And I dropped myself off in Tulsa, Oklahoma on a bus with 40 bucks to my name. Actually, I had more because a friend at the bus station met me down there and threw me like 60, 80 bucks. So I showed up in Tulsa, February 2014, on foot, no place to live, no job, didn't know anybody, never been there, and didn't even know what I was going to do when I got off the bus. Look left, look right. And I spent 5 years in Tulsa. I had housing within 3 days, 2 jobs within 3 days, and paid my rent every week and found my son a month later. Actually, way sooner than that, but I got to meet him a month later. So, and I did all that for my ungrateful mom, my sister, my ungrateful daughter that's here, and it still wasn't enough. 5 years. Brought him back. The guy who left on foot, brought his son back with custody into Fort Wayne. My son turned on me big time. He actually, before I got kidney failure in 2019, you may not, when I went on your show, and I don't know how our conversation, you always say this too. You say, Rich said, fuck his kids. You know, Rich didn't, I don't know if I used those exact words, but like I must have came on your show and somehow my kids got brought up. Maybe you asked how they were doing or something. I was probably having a bad day that day, just gaining kidney failure, and my son trying to get me a felony. He sabotaged me. He stayed in Oklahoma in 2019 when I had custody. And I went back to Fort Wayne and found out I had kidney failure the day I got there. And here's a I can't say the word. Here's a synchronicity for you. The day I went back, and it had nothing to do with it, was his birthday, July 7th. My son's birthday. That's the day I was diagnosed with kidney failure. So my son tried to get me hemmed up with DHS in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I did nothing wrong at all. And he said this, and I proved myself that I was innocent and I didn't collect a charge. But what he was trying to do was sabotage me because he's evil. And so he could live with his aunt and uncle who he grew up with because he was stolen from me when he was 3. That's why I went to Oklahoma in the first place 5 years later. Didn't know where he was, but I went there and found him on foot. So I'm not a child abandoner. My son tried to give me 5 to 10 years in prison, and I came back here and got kidney failure. I waved my white flag. F my kids. I have earned the right to say that. And your opinion doesn't matter. Not you, but anyone's opinion doesn't matter on that because I know what I've done. So to say Rich and Arthur, you said Rich and Arthur abandoned their kids. I don't know if Arthur did. That don't got nothing to do with me. But I can tell you right now, I have never abandoned my kids. And every day I strive to get a kidney and keep pounding pavement and keep making my money like I do. And I do what I do. I'm rowing the boat every day. So your opinion there was inaccurate. And just to say stuff like, "Oh, okay, Rich, you're a loser and you'll never get a kidney." You know that's wrong, man. And there's probably even a couple other things. I can't even remember. Maybe if I just sit here and think about it for a minute. I've had a million things that I want to say, man, and some of it can prove me right. All in all, man, I mean, I actually hope you listen to this and learn that you can have a conversation with somebody and, see what their perspective is. There are a couple other comments that I'll remember after the video's over. And I'm like, oh, I wish I said this or asked that, you know. Fuck, does anybody not understand what I've already said, you know? I come on and make a video on my birthday. That's me trying to make a peace treaty and you know, I'm always gonna knock two birds out with one stone and make an informative video for new people. You know, that's that ended up being a bad idea. You know, let's go back to the Hebrew Israelites. I'm gonna say it one more time. Your response to me being offended that they were calling me white devil, whispering it in my ear like that's weird to me, man. Um, They weren't listening to a word we said. They did not care. They had egos. They aren't the ones in Buffalo. You know, these are different people, you know, in different location. These guys were some assholes. And I knew we were wasting our time. And I still believe in you. And I, after the fact, when I realized, yeah, Zach wanted to educate him and get him to agree, and that would have been great. I get it. But you must not already like me at the time, or you would have just said, you would have had my back. You wouldn't have been so hateful about it. Any one of my friends wouldn't have been, you know. I see them every day. They would have had my back, or at least asked what happened. You know, I want you to know I wasn't just mad that he was whispering white devil twice in my ear. It was also because they said we have to pay for what our forefathers did. Well, again, I have to say, I'm exposing the same people that you're talking about. Those aren't my forefathers, and I stand strong behind that, man. And it pissed me off. And now I got him whispering white devil in my ear. I just dropped my bag. It's like, fuck you, man, you know? And then when Blake bear hugged me and drug me to the side, which I give respect to Blake for doing that, you know, I don't mind that Blake did that. But what it did though is made everybody think like a fight was breaking out when it really wasn't. All I did is stood my ground against him like a man, like I'm supposed to do. That doesn't mean I'm not smart and don't know what's going on. I don't hit people first, Zach. So if there would have been a fight break out, it would have been because he made the first move. But I'm calling his bluff. But then that's something that you didn't let me end up doing. You didn't acknowledge that I'm calling his bluff. You didn't acknowledge that I was standing up like a man. Am I supposed to just have somebody whispering white devil at me and just sit there and suck my thumb and curl up in the fetal position, bro? Is that what I was supposed to do? Was I supposed to just ignore him like I'm scared of him or something? Come on, man. You cussed the girl out in front of the bookstore on the mic. Called her a fat bitch. Is it okay that you call someone a fat bitch? And I can't cuss out the Hebrew Israelite? You're a smart guy. I want you to honestly make that compare and tell me how it's different. And you can't. How about calling the cop Krispy Kreme donut or Big Gulp? It was hilarious. I was laughing and they all deserve it. But did you see me get mad when you called him Big Gulp? That'd be like if I got mad at you for calling the cop Big Gulp. You know what I mean? Or a fat motherfucker. If I got mad at you and like started cutting videos saying, yeah, New York is great, but you know, Zach started cussing out Krispy Kreme and blah, 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 and downing you for it. No, you're standing up for yourself and us like a man to the police. So I can't stand up to myself for the Hebrew Israelite. You know, I see there's 6 people watching this, and feel free in the comments to give your opinion. Can he call someone a fat bitch on the mic? And All the people he's cussed out over the years on his channel, I've never had a problem with that. You know why? I promote Zach's work. I got Zach's back. I agree with most things that Zach says and does. I'm actually trying to get us, I helped get us to New York City. I helped get us to Washington, D.C., all of it. I wanted us to do this kind of stuff for 6 years now. And that's fine. It doesn't mean I'm the best. Zach's also said that I think I'm the best. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not the best. I'm unique because I haven't found anybody in this whole community for 5-6 years now. Since what, 2017? Late 2016, maybe. Doesn't matter. I haven't found anybody that does exactly what I do. And I don't show people the gematria. If they talk to me long enough, if they talk to me for 5-10 minutes instead of 2 or 3 minutes, then they might get a little knowledge on the gematria. But my goal is to get them to subscribe to Zach and let him teach it. Because that's what he was already doing when I found him. And I've learned all this stuff now. Like, I understand numerology. I understand ritualistic people. I understand that sports are fake. I understand that sports are just like the WWE. And I understand the world of celebrity are part of secret societies. I understand that's the same with the government and blah, blah, blah. I get all this stuff now, and I feel like I'm amongst the smartest people in the world. But I also know that everything isn't gematria. That's a problem that at least 60 to 70% of people have. It's not that their heart ain't in the right spot and what they're trying to do, but all they do is sit there and decode everything all day. You're not Zach, okay? And that's not being on Zach's nuts. That's my logic, okay? He's the one with the books. He's the one that's made 50,000 videos. He's the one that's taught us all this. So if you now decode now for, say, 2-3 years and you learned it all from Zach in the first place, that makes you look like a douchebag when now you think you're better than Zach and you're decoding everything every day. And not everything needs to be decoded. Major news stories, daily major news stories, major events. None of these people, and I don't want anyone who decodes to I don't even practice it because, like, I already hate it. I already hate the people who do it. I hate gematria. Okay? This is why I don't care about organic gematria. Because I hate gematria. And I hate the stuff I have to show people. I hate that I have a coronavirus riddle. I hate that I have a 9/11 riddle. It's not cool to me, you know? And I don't know why it would be to anybody else. When I hear people say, oh, I love gematria, I'm like, what? It goes back to, are we going to defeat them and sit around and do gematria all day? No, probably not. So this goes back to, we all have different perspectives. We all have different, opinions, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes maybe Zach, just has the wrong perspective on me or did not communicate with me to fix the problem. How much more clear can I be, man? And I didn't come on here being an a-hole, talking shit about you, blah, 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 And back to the decoders. When you start doing decoding and you show me the truth of the Vegas massacre, when you show me the truth, on and on and on. That's when I put you way up there. In sports decoding's the same way. There's good ones out there, no doubt. I'm not going to mention names, but there's a few people that I'll take their picks in a heartbeat, and the stuff they show me makes sense. And it's like fishing. So not even Zach will get the riddle for every game every day. This is the stuff that annoys me, bro, because people don't get it. So you have to show a riddle that's strong enough and definitive enough. And there's like at least 3 or 4, maybe probably 5 of the same number. When you see something like that, that's what they did. not a guess, not a speculation. Oh, wait, it is 48 date numerology. You know what I mean? This stuff works and it's relevant, but it doesn't apply to everything every single day. And we only need to know the important stuff. So that's why, that's one of the main reasons I don't even mess with like trying to decode everything every day. I use the stuff that I know that they were doing that are for major events and that I learned from Zach. I don't claim it to be my own, and I try to show the world. And this is what I've failed somehow because I can't get other people to be fully on board. So, Zach, another thing I just thought of where you're wrong for is you always seem to say on the air and on the phone to me that I'm like the ex-girlfriend that won't go away. First of all, that I'm not gay or nothing, man. You know what I mean? I'm not some guy that has like a crush on you or something. So to word it like that, it kind of makes me mad. I'll be honest. And that's why I sat here in silence for 3 months because I didn't want to show up someplace and have a fight with you, you know? Because I would do that. I would show up and stick up for myself because you have said Rich abandoned his kid, which is false, way false. And you said that because I said you cut a video on me and you misunderstood me and thought that no, you made an actual video like entitled "Fuck Me." No, it's not when I say you cut a video, that means you mentioned me in one of your videos. So I'm sorry about that misunderstanding there, you know. So you've said I abandoned my kid. You know, you've said all this stuff, man, that I just rewind the video. And I'll give you some credit because when you do those things, and it's been about 5 times now, you think you're right. And your thought is logical and could be what you're thinking in many situations. But it's not always, it's, you know, what do they say? You judge a book by its color or cover, you know. And that's exactly kind of what's happened. You know, you've judged the book by its cover with me and kind of misunderstood me. So if you'd like to comment on this video, Zach, and maybe say, okay, Rich, I'll give you a half. You give me 50% that I've made some points and that I feel pretty wronged, man. So I'm not asking to be your friend or nothing like that, but I know I want to show up to places like New York City again and improve what I do and show, you know, I want to wear my shirt and put in my work, and I want to do it being confident. Not, oh, yeah, here's the truth of 9/11. Yeah, I learned it from this guy. Yeah, the whole community hates my guts, you know, because I told someone to fuck themselves. Like you haven't done that many times. I don't blame you, bro. No, sorry, I said the word bro. I know you don't like that, but it's okay. I've been saying the word bro since '95, bro. So I'm allowed to say it. I don't say it as like a gimmick, you know. Anyways, I don't think there's been any live comments. Let's see here. Oh, there's been a couple. Yeah, Lee. We got Beaver Valley. Appreciate you on the salute. Good morning as well. Zach, did Arthur dirty? Simple Truth TV. Well, as far as Zach did Arthur dirty, I I can't speak on that. Um, I actually forget what happened with them two. I know Arthur came out to New York and was cool, and then all of a sudden they weren't cool. But I'll give my quick opinion to the 12 people that see this. Um, Arthur's one of those guys that decode, and now he's got his own show. And I won't say Arthur's better or not better than Zach, but I think Arthur believes he's one of those people that believe they're now the best decoder out there. Not he probably knows he's not. I'm not saying he thinks he's the very, very best, but you get what I mean. You know, it's one of those things where, oh, you were wrong about this sport, but I was right about this one, and now I must be better than you. It shouldn't even get to that, you know. And I'm not saying Zach did anything wrong or nothing. I don't know what he's done or said, but I would never find Zach's work and now like have a show and act like I'm the best decoder out there. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? You can see I don't do that because I promote the man. I promote Zach's work. I make t-shirts and pages and business cards and go to cities and pass them out and go on like public access television. You know, I've done plenty to show that I'm not sitting here trying to be. I'm not trying to be like Zach, man. I I would feel kind of douchey like if I like did something like that. So that's not a shot against Arthur or anybody else, but that's my perspective of you're now arguing. You and Zach are arguing, and I'm hearing you say stuff like you're better than him. You know, again, Arthur, if you ever see this, it's not a knock on you, but it's like none of us are really better than Zach. He showed us the truth of 9/11 and coronavirus the day it was declared. Kobe, like 2 days, the same day with Kobe, and the next couple days had the whole riddle like unraveled. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a mile long. You know, all those 41s. So when I first started watching Zach's videos, I learned the truth of the Vegas massacre, and that blew my mind. That was like, wow, that was a fake mass shooting, and this guy just like totally exposed it and what they did. Like, so when you take stuff like that, we all learned from him originally, and there's ain't none of us out here exposing major events. You can get the daily news all you want, but the major events is what matters. So that's about all I have. And again, not a knock on anybody, just my opinion, and that my opinion derives from we all should be doing the same thing. Not sitting here decoding something that happened on Highway 57, or you know what I mean, in southern North Dakota. Yeah, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Your little decode doesn't matter. We need to show people the major events that we already have documented and have him subscribe and listen to the person who makes the videos. So that's all I've ever wanted. And cheers to everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get off here and get a couple hours of sleep before I go to work. Anyways, just reading the notifications. Much love to everybody who listened, and don't be one of those a-holes that automatically have Zach's back and you go make comments against me because I just laid it all out, and it has to make sense. So every time I make one of these videos, there's some smart ass mother effer that has something to say. So this isn't about you. It's between Zach and I figured I would, yeah, you too, Tennessee Lee. Much love, brother. I enjoyed every time we get to bump into each other, bro. So can't wait to the next one for sure. But yeah, I'm just gonna get off here and hope Zach sees this and gives me at least a semi-positive response and tells me that I'm correct. Thank you.